Hello, hello, beautiful souls, beautiful friends around the world. It's really beautiful to be here again because it took me quite some time. That I wasn't really doing any lives, but it's a lot happening, many shifts, and it's always about the feeling. When you're just feeling it, then you're sharing, because otherwise, of course, it wouldn't be neither authentic, and all what I'm doing here is truly just sharing to support and assist as much as you can gain from it for your special journey and pathway in your life. So for all who maybe still don't know me, or just somehow find this live or maybe watching later, I am 𝓲 I'm a multidimensional channel, healer, and as well a quite colorful artist. So from music to paintings, many different things. But most of all, I'm since early age pretty much open, aware, awake for all those different multidimensional states of our being. And today it's quite a big topic I want to share about, but it's really regarding these big changes, pretty much tangible changes, which we are starting to feel now on this planet, in all sections of life, but mainly in this material level, in this material section. And as we know, we are living here in this material world, and that's why as well we are pretty much dealing with daily costs and incomes and all what is actually regarding to living as a human in this physical form. And as we know, the system contains all the economics that we having certain jobs to survive, to live, to gain the material wealth, and that we kind of can then live that life to be able to build with it. So basically this topic will be all about that worth that many are actually struggling now, because as we know that these economics are really like the economical system worldwide is pretty much shaking. We know that the value of money is really going down. Then of course businesses maybe not working as good as before. Many are maybe even on the brink to lose their jobs. Many feel that they're underpaid for what they're doing. And all of that really matters. What this sharing today will be all about, to assist you, to make you bring back this remembrance of understanding what actually is going on, but as well how you can best navigate that change without needing to fall in any kind of fear trap, panic, or anything in that direction. So what I'm gonna share now is really beyond just talking about that. Like I said, the economical state is really shaking, that money is really dropping and all of that, but it's more about to assist you how you can prepare yourself with this systematically exposure of truth, which is rolling daily over everyone right now. And what is this exposure? That you're gonna more and more understand that the way how work, how jobs are represented in this now moment are truly not at all aligned to your essential worth. So what does this mean, this essential worth? That when we understand once again that we are not only here on this planet to work, to earn, to survive, to build, to live, and then basically at some point leave, then we're going to also understand that it has so much more to do with the awakening of your remembrance who you truly are. So even if we are in a 3D world and it's a material world and everything is built systematically to everyone has certain jobs to keep the system rolling and going forward. But again, when we do remember that we are not only workers who have jobs, then we will understand how important this remembrance will be, what I'm gonna share now. And this remembrance is knocking for quite some time now on my door to speak up, and not speak up for my own remembrance, because I do know it, but for many out there now who will feel troublesome, who will find themselves maybe not knowing how to economically survive. And this is now really important that you do remember that all this is breaking down. All this, I mean now, that it's shaking, that we have crisis out there, and not because the politicians are doing something good or something wrong. This crisis is the unrolling of that truth. And the truth is that you can't be measured monthly, but by your income, that this is your worth, and that you're not worthy more than this amount you're receiving every month. This is the biggest revealing of the essential truth of your remembrance, that you have to understand that if you're right now feeling that you're underpaid, that you're feeling that you might lose your job, that you're feeling that maybe you're not right in the place where you're working, all these are blessings of the awakening. All these are pointing out the remembrance to you that you are not anymore here to serve others, to give you then basically a feedback that your worth is only monthly, I don't know, 1,000 euros, $2,000 or whatever it is, okay? So the system we are now moving day by day, we're building it by this remembrance. So we're moving into a new system which needs this old to crumble down. Why? Because we are awakening back that we are divine beings. So a divine beings was never limited on a certain amount of worth. And this is where the systems could rule above, let's call it above the whole collective. Why? Because this is exactly the weak point of the human, that the moment you are not anymore earning, let's call it enough, or as much as you always did in your daily work, or maybe you're losing your job, or you're losing your position, all of this is opening up your weak point. And that weak point is that we were constantly trained that this is our worth. Now, many of you who might watch this might think, well, that's not really the truth. But in the moment, you might today lose your job, your money, your house, your status. How many of you, or the collective field, would feel devastated? And how many would feel at peace? And this is exactly that point, because most of the people would feel devastated. Why? Because it was the system who trained you, that without even you knowing, subconsciously, you've been suddenly, let's call it, hooked to that system which gave you your worth. Your worth is just, I don't know, $1,000, $5,000, $3,000, or whatever it is. So can you see the moment when you lose that, you kind of are attached to that worth which this material world gave you. So the moment when we can break through that we are not really having that worth which was once given to us through a house, through a job, through, like I said, through that money you're receiving monthly, then you will start to feel more and more that you're more than all of that, but that you're beyond and that you're really a divine being. And a divine being in human form is limitless. So this means if today a storm comes, if today a volcano breaks out or earthquake, and not now to call it out to bring any kind of harm, but just as an example, in a moment, everything you gained, all maybe your titles, that you've been a doctor for 20 years, that you had a villa, that you had whatever it was, okay? Till this now moment, when today all this in a one moment disappears, then you will see and feel how far was your ego really believing that this was your worth of your identity, or how much you truly feel that, okay, it was now really a big shock, but that you didn't lose for one moment your true essential worth. And that's the wound, that's the weakness. Everyone is plate on this planet. So this means that there it is where people get into stress, that they're not good enough because they believe, conscious or subconscious, usually it's subconscious, that they don't have that worth, that they are actually a divine being, that nothing is above you, nothing is really bringing you out of that greatness just because you lost that job, or you lost that money, or you lost whatever, that house, etc. And that's exactly where we need to come when we are going now forward on this beautiful awakening journey. So this means to remember that no matter what is going on with the material imprint, money, house, status, job, that it doesn't affect you as the remembrance that you are a divine being. And maybe those who listen and have a problem with the word divine, it has nothing to do with religion. It is you are an eternal soul having now this beautiful body and having this experience here, all right? But if now the crisis will hit even stronger, that's why I had to do this video now. And I hope that many can really get reached by this video, because this is truly the most important information, that even if you today lose all your material goods, that you're not devastated in the moment to think then everything is over and that you are nothing and that everything is lost, because it's actually not true, but you've been just removed from where you should not anymore gift your beautiful, precious energy, your presence. Why? Because it's not being valued. So this means you're working only for 1,000, 2,000, whatever, dollars, euros, etc. And this is not divine order. This is not where we are heading as a collective awakening. We cannot live like that anymore, no matter how much restructuring it will take, of course. But even if you decide to stay, or if you don't decide to stay in that job, which you know it's taking maybe, more from you than you've been paid for, and that you even are working for something which is not really even your creative energy. This is another thing I'm going to also talk about now. So all of that will anyway be taken away. Why? Because we cannot stop the collective field awakening. We cannot stop the source creation energy. So this is not in the hand of the, I will say not the human, but the ego mind anymore. So no matter if you wish to take what I'm sharing here or if you don't wish to take, it's still gonna happen in that way. Not because I'm the one who predicts it, but because that's now the source law. And we are all moving now into the law of one, which is great news. Why? Because it's time that we're becoming again equal in the manner that we can truly work with each other with our gifts. Because till now, when you've been working for someone else, for a corporation, for any kind of job, you took it like, okay, I have a job, it's okay, I'm paid, and maybe some of you even enjoying, which is fine. But if there is really that state that you're gonna now share with me, or silently, because anyway, you're on the other side of the screen, but that it's really like not that great, and that you're putting more energy for things they're asking you to do, you're equally blocking your creative flow. And this is even more intense, like a big distortion, because as a divine creator being, as the word is saying, we are able to create anything into reality, as a reality. So this means it's important to understand more we are gifting our precious life force with the intention that we need to go to the job, that we need to fulfill what this job is wanting us to do. We are blocking our own creativity, but not only a human creativity, but source creativity. So you're basically giving daily and daily and daily your energy into something just to get a little bit of money to survive. It's very harsh to say it like that, but that's reality. So this means that this is not anymore basically being allowed by the law of one. And that's why many jobs will start to crash. And not just to crash because everyone's going to be now punished. That's not how source and divine balance is working, but it's more what is serving energetically the all, and what is actually just, we can call it a parasitic system, a parasitic job, right? Because someone is then gaining a lot from you or from all those workers, but actually this is not really how a divine garden looks like. So this means we're talking here maybe in phrases, but those phrases gonna become very, very realistic, and not in 10, 20 years forwards, very soon. And that's why if you're gonna now see more and more those who surround you, even if it's not you yourself who having that troubles, that they're gonna lose job, or even more feel that it's so hard in those jobs to be or to survive and so on. No, it's not that they're all punished, but this needs to be dissolved. This needs to basically come to a closure. And again, it's not in our hands, it's divine guidance, divine alignment, right? So this means it's like the collective field is now under this massive light blessing, let's call it. And this is now exactly pushing and pressing everything where it should be, where it should release, where something just can't sustain anymore. And that's another point to share about, that whatever is not created by the highest good of all, or not created by the heart, which we know it is the love, it is the light, will not sustain in the next, let's call it next few years, okay? Will not sustain. Because again, we are now on a new wave where we are creating together as a collaboration. And collaboration means that there is not then anymore someone above you, like a, let's call it like a boss, and who just, you know, you have good bosses or you have even terrible bosses. But the point is this hierarchy, that there is someone beneath and just works for some little value, okay, this is breaking down, which, thanks God, it's about time. And this means, again, you don't need to worry about it because it's already not just behind the scenes, but in a silence happening already, okay? And that's why what you shall now, more or less, to have the focus on is, what are your gifts? Because if you understand that anything which makes your heart glow, it can be from even cooking to walk outside to, I don't know, have beautiful animals and support them, or work with children, or go outside and take care of the nature. Whatever brings joy to your heart, to your soul, these are the new earth jobs, okay? So this means that we are here not to just work and put the energy into something which is not even our joyful state. So this means our dream in a way. You are till then creating and living in some jobs, in some work, which is basically a distorted dream. Because in the highest timeline, all of you, all souls, are allowed to express their highest joy, okay? And this means you are endless, a creator, there are endless possibilities. So it's not only the few I stated, but the most important is when it doesn't feel good for you, but it's rather taking from you. So this means you are exhausted and so on. This is not your soul alignment. So simple it truly is. And now you're gonna say, oh, Gabi, but out there it's like a material world. I need that money, I need this, I need the bills to pay and so on. That's all what was the fear attached to that, let's call it now, money, to that value which you need every month to receive. Otherwise you get into panic, you get into fear, and then you shrink through the stress, right? You contract through the stress, your body. And trust me, when you contract your body, you actually block that divine flow. You block the communication with your own light, with your own higher self, with source within you, because you are in a shrink state. And that's why anything which relaxes you, which makes you feel good, is when you are in flow, when you are in connection with your divinity. Okay? Remember this. It's true. It's like really your essential state is not stress. It's not panic. It's exactly the opposite. And when we are as a collective field in stress, which you are when you don't get enough money, when they just say your value is 2,000 euros a month, when they say you only have as much free time, otherwise, you know, you get fired or whatever, all this being created to keep everyone constantly in stress. When you're in stress, you cannot feel anymore your worth, your remembrance. You cannot feel anymore the connection with your heart, with your love, with your joy. You drop in frequency. And then, of course, beautiful souls, that's the moment when we speak about mass control, right? Because that's when you're really weak. In this weak point, you're vulnerable. You will take anything just to survive. You will take any kind of even false compromises just to survive. So to break this circle, this cycle, and I even heard, like a channel, I constantly hear the messages, I heard even to break the circus. Thank you. Yes, it is indeed a circus. So that's the moment when you are actually, again, remembering that not only, it's really beyond that, not only that you deserve more, that's really, for me, not a real statement, but to remember who you are, that you're not anymore just a little human needing money, needing to survive, but that you find this joy within you. So just remember what did actually in all those other moments when I maybe had free time, maybe when I was younger, what did really brought me this joy, okay? And then start to remember these kind of soul qualities which only you have and nobody else. So this means can be anything. Like I said, it can start small. You draw and then maybe you share online and maybe someone says, oh, it's a beautiful portrait, can you create one for me, and so on. So you will be found by your gifts, but only when you are in your essential frequency. This you cannot be when you are in fear, when you're in panic. When you are there, you're in your head. You're not then in your heart. So this means every time we are moving into our head, we actually are not good equipped to go forward in this journey, because then you are indeed, you can be attacked, that suddenly more bills arrive and more is asked from you and you're exhausted and you have burnout and so on. So actually your biggest ally or your biggest gifts to not just to protect you, but to be equipped on this journey is to do anything and everything which keeps you in every day in a high vibration. So start the day, instead of scrolling how much craziness is again happening, I don't know, online, on Facebook, wherever, but that you put on, for example, can be something else, I don't know, let's say the solfeggio harmonics, and you just listen some really high vibrational music from the beginning. You don't even look what else happened today on this planet. And then you just, do yourself some beautiful, I don't know, some beautiful breakfast, and you go and watch it or eat it outside instead inside, and with one hand typing already your emails. So, you really have that choice. That's not that you can say, I don't have time, because that's not true, because you have time to still wash yourself, to still go to work, to still do all of these things, right? So that in those moments, you just choose different. You choose you as the highest priority. Not that you are late to the job again, not that you have 1,000 things to do today again. Everything of this is stress, and it's dropping you in your frequency. And what did I say before? Everything which drops in your frequency, you're vulnerable. You can be there again, harmed. Okay? So stay in this high vibration, because only there you will then always remember, or many times remember, or more and more of times remember that you are divine. A divine creator has eternal possibilities, has eternal unlimited resources. And you know why? Because you're not attached to the money, to the job, to that house, to that surrounding, to the culture, because then you have eternal possibilities. You have angels who support you, call them in. You have your higher self, call him in or it in. You can bring in light every day in everything you eat. So even if it seems a harmful food, just, put your hand there, intention, light, and eat it, and it's helping you as well to rise your vibration, right? So again, to summarize what I was all saying now, it's truly all about now to remember your worth. Not that I'm worthy, I'm not talking about that. To remember that you are not only your monthly paycheck, that this is your worth, that this job or this house you're living. That's not your worth. You are divine in this human vessel. This is your daily remembrance. I'm feeling low. I remember, I put my hand on my heart. I remember I am source in this flesh body. And a source in this flesh can do anything. I have a strong belief that I can do magic. I can do whatever I wish. I'm setting intentions, right? So there is nothing which can actually bring me into this fear, because fear is really not even there to harm you in the way, but there you are controllable. There you're gonna go into compromises which are not aligned to your soul path at all. There you're gonna stay in crappy jobs just to get these few little dollars, which might make you feel, oh, I am still safe and stable because I have a job. Because this state of not really feeling that you are a source creator is actually closing you to self-love. Because when you are in self-love, you say, no, I'm not working for crappy jobs which I even don't get enough, or you will faster choose you and be able to say no. Because many are fearing to lose jobs because they think, oh, I have a job, and whatever this job is, I don't care, just that I have one job and then I'm safe. But again, beloveds, we are not anymore in times where you need to suffer material, but you are now almost, I would say, shaken by source to remember that journey which goes beyond that distortion which you are facing every day through making you believe if you didn't achieve that and this and that and don't have this and so on, that then you are lower in your value, in your status, in your worth. But these beautiful ones, it's time to really delete and transmute out of your belief system, because this was the biggest wound why everyone was going into compromises, forgetting themselves, disconnecting themselves from the higher vibrational, beautiful, unique being they are, and like that not even remembering that they're full of gifts, full of beautiful potential they brought to this planet, brought into this life, and brought to share with others. So also this new upcoming golden time system, which we are actually starting already, is as well that we're gonna exchange our gifts. And this will be then the new way to work together. It's gonna be collaborating. And now it's not collaboration. It is being beneath, obeying and following which someone is telling you what you need to do. And imagine just this sentence. Someone else is telling you what to do in that job means, of course, command, means, of course, that you are giving away your power day by day by day by day. So that's why we all need to step into our own source creator potential state again, because from there we're gonna so much with joy create all what you are. Are you a writer? Are you a painter? Are you a singer? Are you a dancer? Are you great with organizing? And then we can really, and it's not a fantasy, I guarantee you that we're going there. And that's when we're gonna go again into collaboration. In these golden times we lived before, like we lived in a golden Atlantis, which we lived in Lemuria, and that we really been exchanging our gifts. Collaboration made us stronger. Collaboration brought in that we are respecting each other, that we are not seeing someone higher or lower. We see each other as different in our qualities, in our worth. And that's exactly why all of this non-aligned, non-serving jobs will start now to break down. So just be prepared with this knowing, not out of fear, not out of panic that you think these economical states will bring you to the knees. Many will, but only when they are really on the knees and not anymore, I would say, prizing money above their own worth. Then they will basically remember that it was never money, position, which ruled us, but it was just the distorted, false compromises people took on out of fear just to survive. So to not take anymore these kind of jobs on, because they anyway will not survive and not be sustainable. So if then work now on your vision, what could you bring to this world? And then this frequency will attract and bring in equal and or similar souls with ideas which would then together combined really create this beautiful new dream. So again, work only and mainly on your frequency, because everything is energy. And this is as well which the kind of rulers of this false illusionary world knows exactly. That's why they like to drop your frequency, because only then they can reach you and play around with you, right? So this means you have the awareness to keep your frequency up, because there you feel the love, you feel yourself, you remember that you were never alone on this journey, and that your soul family is already silently building the new foundation where also your dreams will have space to plant them into the soil. Okay? So sending all my love, and once again, don't fear that jobs will break down, because that's source blessing to really get back what it meant to be, that you are your own source creator, full with resources and here to create and not to give away your power for a certain amount of worth which you receive monthly, but you are limitless and abundant, fully flowing source in human flesh. Much love from my love, from my heart to yours. And yes, keep vibrating high. Remember, you are not what the material created around you, but what you are here, a living flame, indestructible. Much love.